So it's your birthday tomorrow.
It is. I'm turning 30. I think you're supposed to have is that like an early midlife crisis? 50 is
Yes.
like midlife, right? 50 is like past midlife to me, personally.
I'd say 40 is midlife.
40 is midlife?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have another 10 years.
I think so.
Many have told me that their 30s were their best. Natalie, my sister, she's like, my 30 to whatever, I was super happy. And then
Best in comparison to what?
the rest of her life.
Okay.
20s
not so
high
good.
School. Yeah, 20s are just rough. 20s like you're finding yourself and you're like, who am I? Where do I fit in this world? Hopefully by 30 you have your stuff together a little bit more. I feel pretty good about that. I'm a pretty well put together.
Like you have your stuff together?
Human, I think.
Wow.
My things are in order, mostly.
Can't believe you're going to be 30.
I know, Adam. That's 15 years you've known this face.
Yeah. I am lucky.
It's a blessing.
That's
Oh,
it.
boy, yeah.
You doing anything exciting?
Nothing too exciting. Family will get together, do some birthday stuff, probably play with the nephews and things. I kind of want to go to a beach with Bear, like Oak Street Beach, Chicago, maybe.
Oh.
I love just be outside, and I don't know, I'm pretty easy. Give me some nature, give me some sunshine. I know 30 you're supposed to like do something real big, but
I didn't do anything big.
see?
Yeah.
Maybe if you don't make it a big deal, then it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
It's perfect. I don't know.
I don't know if I've had a birthday that was a big deal since I was 10, but
After 10 it just
yeah.
downhill from there.
People stopped getting me cake, and that's
pretty much the highlight.
yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Well,
So do you think you're going to beach tomorrow?
maybe not. At some point.
Okay.
Yeah.
I really like Racine. You go,
Yeah, I've done Waukegan,
yeah.
which is a little south of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they don't allow dogs, so I don't want to go there.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, forget
lame.
them.
So okay,
Yeah.
Racine.
Well,
Nice.
the only thing I know is I did the half Ironman up there, and you swim in the lake, and you're like, oh, Lake Michigan, it's gonna be gross. It was
Right.
beautiful up there.
Okay.
Because if you go farther down in Chicago, less beautiful.
Yes. You know, actually, I just had a client tell me that she just went to Michigan and did the something dunes.
Oh, yeah,
And she's like, you can just take off your shoes and hike because it's sand. You feel like you're in the ocean.
Yeah.
So it's an actual sandy beach, not Chicago rocky blah beach. So the hour 40 minutes, not that bad of a drive. I mean, it's a bit of a hike, but that might be fun. I've never had Bear in the car that long.
Yeah.
That could be fun. Hopefully he just
Yeah.
sleeps.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see.
That's exciting.
It is. It's a good time.
Lauren's 30.
Yeah. Should we intro this thing? I think
Yes.
there's no one to intro. I
No.
guess it's just us today. Strength Squad.
Yes. And we're introing.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about some things.
I'm excited about today.
Lauren, what are we talking about today?
Today is going to be we're getting better at this whole practical application thing.
We are.
Less theory, less,
Yes.
teaching. And
Yes.
it's just like, hey,
Try this.
fit yourself into one of these scenarios and we'll give you some steps for each of them. So today is about really looking at stressors in life, training stressors, emotional stressors, mainly those two, I would say. Emotional can be from relationships, work, all that type of stuff. So physical and mental stress, two things. And then how do you kind of adapt or adjust the different things you're doing to overcome those and make sure that you are having optimal recovery, performance. And performance seems like a strong word, but just like whatever your goals are, be a better grandpa, be a better dad, be a better brother, be a better father, whatever it might be.
Be a better runner,
Right. Yeah.
Be stronger.
Yeah,
be
actual
better.
when you think of performance,
absolutely.
the more common things that come to mind. Works both sides though.
Yep.
And I think that a lot of people undershoot themselves, and that's not the right term. Like they don't think of themselves on that scale, that they need to care about those things or think about it. Instead, it's let me run myself into the ground, punish myself. I'm fat, I'm this, I'm that, and I want to lose weight and I want to get healthy. So I'm just going to go all out all the time and hopefully get results. And that's the exact opposite thing of what you want. And that's not preached enough, and people don't understand that.
Yeah.
So
I could not agree more.
I know. It might have been your idea.
It might have been.
It's possible.
So if we look at avatars here, if we look at different people, let's start with the physicalness. Okay, people have different job things, physical requirements within their job. Some people sit behind a computer all day. Some people are very active all day, picking things up. All these people need some type of working out. It should happen. They should work out. They should train.
We should define that.
We should define that. Let's define that. Define that, Lauren.
All right. So working out is just movement of the body. There's no real purpose or plan behind it. It's just I am gonna, oh, cool, there's a dumbbell. Let me pick it up and do stuff with it. It's just moving, sweating, working out. Training is having a plan. Like you're looking like, okay, here's my month of July, and these are the dates that I have, and I'm going on vacation, and I have an event here and a birthday party here, and you're making a training plan. Or you go to a gym and you have a coach that's telling you your plan.
Yes.
And the program is laid out, and there's a purpose behind it. So working out and training, they seem the same, but they're actually completely different because the intent is different.
Yeah. And you just had Nathan Holliday from Level Method on the show, episode 31.
31.
And going through all that, because that's what they do. They balance those stressors, as opposed to just one day you wake up and you're like, oh, I haven't lunged in a while. I'm going to do 1,000 lunges, and then you can't walk the next day.
Correct.
Well, I haven't done this in a while, and just have this random hodgepodge of like, oh, let's do this, and not have a plan. And you can get away with some randomness,
right,
for a short period of time until you can't anymore. And
it's just so much better on your psyche to just have a little bit of what you want. And so to the last podcast, you guys can go back and listen to that. But with Level Method, it's like, hey, I want to maybe back squat X amount for whatever reason. You've set an arbitrary goal. And so it's going to help get you there. So similarly, if you have running goals or just different body goals that you want to get to, like it's very helpful for anxiety and just like knowing what I'm doing is actually making a difference and I'm not digging a hole. I'm actually crawling out of the hole and getting stronger and getting better. Yeah. So it's really important to have a plan in place or have someone who can do it for you.
Yes. 1,000%.
So back to our point.
So if we look at somebody who, let's say they're very active through the day.
Construction worker or a contractor. Yep. What else? What kind of jobs we got? Yeah.
I mean, it seems like these warehouse jobs and whatnot. You're active. Some are not. Some you sit and just drive a fork truck all day too, which is
and even in its own right, teaching.
Yeah.
You're on your feet all day. Like people don't understand that it's not always just like physical moving things labor, but it's just essentially not any job you're not sitting. Yeah. Being a server, being a cashier. I worked at Dick's Sporting Goods. My feet killed me at the end of the day. I'm like, I am more fit than this. Why am I I'm the first weekend I'm going, back to the job of being on the floor and working with customers. I'm like done at the end of the day. I don't want to work out. Yeah. I'm exhausted. Yeah. So physical labor jobs. That's kind of what we're looking at.
So if we look at those jobs, somebody that's very active throughout the day. I mean, say little contractor. Somebody might be carrying out sheets of plywood upstairs, and then they might be, doing some demo and breaking down some tile.
Loading and unloading.
And then, hey, we got to get a shower at Menards. So we get in the truck, go to Menards, pick up the shower, get it there, pick it, but you can be insanely, active throughout the day. At the end of the day, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, I go to the gym. What does that person need?
Yeah. For me, just as just backing up a little bit before I answer that direct question, I feel that you have to just kind of look at your overall readiness to hit the gym. And for my full-time job for Eleiko, we have like a system for this. But to put it simply, it's just you should kind of always scan yourself on a daily basis. And just to your point, Adam, we're talking about the physicality of it. But
scan yourself.
Yeah, scan yourself. Yeah, with like a questionnaire. It's more so just introspection. It could take 5 seconds. It's like, where's my sleep at? Did I eat like crap yesterday? Mood? How do I feel? I feel kind of anxious today. And physically, man, I'm sore because I just demoed an entire bathroom with expensive heavy stone tile and blah 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 blah. So you take all of that into account, and like always, it depends on what you're going to need. But mostly, if you're that active of a person, you just need a super simple, consistent program at the end of the day. You're not going to need something that's going to stress your central nervous system and be this high intensity, go hard for 30 seconds, beat the person next to you, harder, every rep. Who cares if it's a bad rep? You need to be safe because your job is physical. If you get hurt, what are you going to do? That's your livelihood. So I would err on the safe side, keep it consistent, foundational movements, do it in a progressive manner, and pick a consistent schedule you can stick to. Don't overshoot 3 times a week. Yeah. Your job is physical enough. Yeah. Someone else might need 5 times a week.
Yeah. And I'd say to go with that, I think you said full range of motion, lot of mobility work type stuff. Because if you're in like awkward situations, putting in plumbing or something like that, you basically have to be a contortionist in which to I've done some labor stuff, and I get down, my wrists are just killing me.
Yeah, different.
Like just for holding a drill and like, I mean, screwing the rigs into the ground, and you
repetitive.
You're just drilling through concrete. And how that just trickles up, and it's just like, okay, now I'm going to go, pick up a heavy barbell, and, like I can barely hold on to like, should I still work out? Yes. There's things I can do. Yes. I can work on mobility and a lot of times getting, missing, or sorry, kind of, I guess filling the gap of wherever you're missing there. Probably need some cardio stuff, some easy, steady state cardio stuff. Yeah, hit the air bike really hard, or something of the sort.
Just work the heart a little bit.
Yeah. But where you could kill yourself is if you just bury yourself. I don't care. This is what I do. And you should work out. I think you feel better when you work out. Like it should be good. But just to be like, hey, I'm going to do this workout or this hero workout, or I saw John on Facebook do this thing. I'm going to do what John did. John's not you, and John didn't have the day that you did. So
right.
like you might be able to do that. Like you maybe that's good for you, but maybe you also killed yourself this week. It was a long week. Maybe the weather was extra hot. Again, I'm talking about these physical labor jobs. Like you exerted a ton during the day, working on redoing this bathroom, and the people were on top of you and their pressure, you worked insanely hard. You might have to back off that week, and not overdo, because you're right. You just don't want to get hurt. Yeah. Getting hurt is the worst thing ever. And I think people take that for granted.
They do. I think another side big important part is look at your daily tasks. So as a contractor, only what you do repetitively. Mm-hmm. But majority of them, it's going to be that anterior. It's in your frontal plane. You're working here constantly. It's going to be that hinging all the time. It's going to be a lot of grabbing. Mm-hmm. So when you go to training, now I'm not saying every gym this might be something you do on your own. Mm-hmm. All of this, we need to strengthen the fingers this way. Yeah. Learn how to spread. We need to work the posterior side. It's going to be back stuff. It's going to be glute stuff. It's going to be hamstring stuff. Like, think about your weak points, and don't go to the gym and do the same darn patterns you do all day, every day. Yeah. Pick up like deadlift and grab and bent row and pull up. Maybe we need to dip. Let's get the shoulder back here. Yeah. Let's, mix it up. So that's a conversation to have with your coach, and hopefully they can help with that.
Okay, that's so fantastic. So I see athletes who do that stuff. Athletes, people, humans.
Adam thinks an athlete. That's fine.
Yeah, that's how.
You're all an athlete.
Like, somebody who does that type of labor, when you have a deadlift day, they're usually pretty good at deadlifting.
Oh,
so
yeah.
What do they like to do? They like to deadlift. So then, more deadlifting. But you deadlifted all day at your job. Now you're deadlifting here. Is it bad that you deadlift? No. But for you to,
can we go single leg?
Yeah.
Can we go?
Yeah. Which they probably can't.
Right.
Can you stand on one leg and no? You probably fall over. Okay. But to overdo those specific things. But can you do the couch stretch? Probably not. Can you? How tight are your hip flexors?
Right.
Everything that you just said about the grip thing. I've had a wrist thing for about a year.
Yeah.
Finally went to the PT and got looked at and got some feedback. The thing that's helping me the most is I got the little X band from Rogue,
and you just,
and whenever I drive, I'm just, and it's finally getting better. I finally took the time to because within jiu-jitsu and then with all training stuff and stuff, pull-ups and holding heavy barbells and stuff like my grip is pretty solid. I get a lapel on somebody. I'm usually pretty good at holding on. And that was my issue. I held on too much, and people would try to break my grips and be like, no, I got it. Until I didn't.
Yeah.
And then it really hurt. And so it's funny, the dead opposite. So instead of doing this, I'm doing this, and I finally, feel so much better. So to everything that you're saying, instead of being here, okay, let's hit some PVC pass-throughs, open up the shoulder, and see how that feels.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's really just about expanding your kind of repertoire of how you move. Yep. And, that's going to be different for everyone, but obviously we're a little biased. We think you should go to a gym that can help you out with that, or a trusted coach that individually can maybe program for you and give you exactly what you need. And that doesn't have to be every session. So like Adam is saying, it's not that you don't deadlift, and it's not that you don't ever barbell deadlift. Yeah. We're just saying, just think about in the grand scheme of things, if you have a year's worth of training and sessions that you do, it kind of sucks if 90% of that is a barbell deadlift and that's your job too. Yeah. So where can you sprinkle it in? Yeah. Going back to our initial point, training is different than working out. Yeah. And you need to factor that in.
Yeah. And shameless plug for us, because we do have a specific program written up.
Right.
And it's written up for a bunch of different people during the day. It's not just, we didn't write this program, with John in mind. It's for everyone. The Roots program, the Oak Fit stuff, the Level Method stuff, it's general. So if you come to class, and this is where I think our coaches are phenomenal, and somebody had a terrible day or they did, a ton of, shower installation or whatever it might be, to get them to deadlift heavy, our coaches won't do that. We will change what we're doing on the day. We will back off, something of that sort. and this is where I love our coaching staff. Like they are tuned in to understand that it's the long game. Do I want you to move today? Yes. Do I want you to work out today? Yes. Do we need to PR today? Not necessarily, because we can PR next week or next month or next year, or 8 years from now or 9 years from now or whatever it is. And I think that longevity thing is such a big deal.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, going off of that, that's one end of the spectrum.
Let's go the other way.
So we have the other way, which can just be, we kind of said you're standing on your feet all day or you're not.
I'm a desk jockey.
Yeah.
Here I go.
Anyone that is desk bound or position bound, because let me just put a caveat here. Standing all day isn't necessarily better than sitting. It's still the issue with sitting is not sitting itself.
I'd say it's slightly better.
It is. I'll get, yes, I was going to, okay. Yeah. The issue is conditioned movement pattern for a long period of time without anything else in between. So yes, you burn, 20% more calories a day standing. So already it's going to be better. But if you stand all day with your hips shifted forward and your abs not on and you're doing this ingraining this terrible movement pattern, that can be just as detrimental if sitting, tightening your hip flexor, like it, chicken or the egg. So both not great, but where was my point here? Any prolonged positions, and basically we're saying not a whole lot of movement throughout the day. Yeah. If you look at your Apple Watch or your Fitbit or your whatever, and you're like 4,000 steps a day or less, that's kind of the category we're talking about here.
Yeah. You're not getting enough movement at all.
Right. Yeah. So
if you do have that job, you're stuck behind a computer, you walk the 100 steps into work, you sit down at your desk, you only get up, to walk if you have to go to the bathroom, and you come to the gym. What do those people need at the end of the day?
Yeah, it's funny because on these two spectrums, both for their own reasons, I don't really, until they get to a certain point, I don't really propone a super high, intense, high stress environment. One person because it overtrains them, the other person because maybe they're not trained enough and it'll break them. Yeah. So you have to kind of get to a point.
I haven't done anything all day. Yeah. Let's max deadlift now.
Exactly. So one, I would say the prep for that session needs to be something that gets your nervous system ready. 100%. So if the coaches know what they're doing and prepare things well, they could properly amp you up to be prepared for a high intensity.
Absolutely.
But I would say this person...
You need a really solid warm-up, though.
Yeah.
Solid warm-up, get things going, because you've been here all day.
Even if you can pre-class, go for a walk, like prep the body in your own way, additionally. But this person is definitely going to need more touch points. Yep. I would argue, like our Perfect Day podcast two times ago, more touch points throughout the day to keep you mobile and ready for the work you're about to do. But two, it's just don't have this all-in mentality where we do nothing all day and then we hit an hour-long class, then we take 2 days off because we're wrecked. Hour-long class, 2 days off. Saturday, big workout with the group and it's fun, 2 hours of hard whatever, and then I go for a run. Can't work out again until Wednesday. Like, no, we don't want the weekend warrior, the one session warrior. It's just the idea of a little bit each day and just consistently getting into the gym and doing something that's manageable so you feel better, weird, after working out and want to come back the next day and do it again.
Yeah. And not saying that you can't get after it in class. Not saying you have to,
right.
We
baby,
have to treat,
easy.
Oh, you're okay.
Right.
Because you can, but like you're saying, to be here all day moving at 1 mile an hour, and then all of a sudden you try to go to 60, like you got to ramp it up. Okay, you just can't shift into fifth and
Speaking from experience,
Yes.
I've definitely done that. As my life had shifted from managing and gyms and being coach on the floor for 50 hours a week to work from home, entrepreneur. I have to be way more regimented in making myself get up and move and go for walks. And when I come to the gym, check myself, like, I just want to jump in. I know what I've done. I know what weights I've lifted. I know the athlete that I used to be, and it's really hard to shift that mindset and be like, let's be safe. Yeah. Let's just do something so you can come back tomorrow and do it again.
Yeah, and you can, Lauren's 30-year-old self now compares herself to 22-year-old self.
Yeah.
And how,
so long ago.
how different, yes. Almost a decade.
Right?
But to, and I do the same thing. Like, it's funny. We're in the gym. I'm in the gym so much. Yeah. But so much of it is sadly on the computer and doing different things and, marketing stuff and video stuff and and be like, I need to work out, pause, and then go. And if I don't, right. prep myself, appropriately, at almost 42, like it's not, I'm not like I am when I was 32 or 22. Yeah. 22, I just hit it. It didn't matter. Right. It was fun. So again, not saying you can't go hard. You can go hard. You should go hard. Like we can load you. You can get after it.
You got to challenge yourself.
You challenge yourself, absolutely. But you got to prep yourself for what you're doing, appropriately, and then cool yourself down appropriately. Again, the idea of going longevity with this and being able to be consistent. We don't want the high super high and the low super low, because if you do a workout and then you have to take 3 days off because you're so exhausted from it, and then you do the same thing again and you're so exhausted from it, like we prefer just the smaller stimulus in which to kind of keep it going. Which reminds me of Sally Swanson, who for 9 years at Oak Strength, she comes her 2 or 3 days a week. Mm-hmm. She pushes it, not too much, but she does Sally speed, and she started with us when she was 53, and now she's 62, maybe 52 to 61, something like that, and she's insanely healthy for, a 60-year-old woman and a grandma. And that's what we're looking for. If everyone could be Sally, holy cow. And not saying just healthy. She's strong. Again, for a 60-year-old woman, this is fantastic. 30-year-olds do this. Strong. They'd feel good. Their conditioning would be good. As opposed to this,
and constantly just kind of asking, like, what's a small step I can take?
Yeah.
Sally's never asking me about liver detox and fasting, and it's like, which protein is good? Now, I've been doing 1 scoop for 6 years. Should I up it to 2? As I'm sure, and she does.
Yeah.
And that's the one habit change, but she does it, and she does it consistently. And then in, another year, add on another, cool, I'm good with the protein. That's normal. I do that now. Now I've been wondering about this or that. And like, she just puts her head down and does the work.
Yeah.
And doesn't ask questions and doesn't make complaints and doesn't have, ridiculous astronomical goals, and is just consistent, and she gets the results that she wants.
Yeah.
But before
good goals, quality goals, just not, just again, to overdo and overstretch, we don't want injury.
Yeah. But I will, an aside of this, I will say is, this desk jockey type of avatar, you're gonna need more movement more consistently.
Yeah.
So you're going to need to have some heart healthy days and some strength training days. And I would say daily walks on, like, I wouldn't tell that to the contractor. That's their life.
Yeah.
Where you have to intentionally fit it in. Myself, I'm in that category, and I have to make myself go out and do these things.
Yeah.
Otherwise I would, work out. If you look at it, if I do 4 or 5 days a week of jujitsu or lifting or whatever, that's only about 5 hours in an entire week.
Yeah.
And you have so much more life than that, and so much more time to burn calories. And it's not even just about burning calories. It's about keeping your joints healthy, keeping your mental side healthy. It's a little bit of everything. And so you have to make time for that just because your job is different. And so I don't want, to Adam's point, to make it seem like, oh, be careful. Like, no, you got to hit it kind of hard, especially if you have weight loss goals. You got to stress the body and challenge the body, but you got to do it smart.
Yeah. And I think that the other, I don't know, how many hours are there in a week? 126.
I know. I just
like
stopped because I didn't want to mess it up.
Minus the 5 hours of you working out. I mean, there's 120 plus hours still in the week. For you to walk, for you to hike, for you to be active in different ways, play with your kids, walk the dog, whatever it is. Like, if you're stagnant for 120 hours a week and then you decide to work out, and rock it for those 5 hours, like, again, it's not the worst thing in the world, but there's another big chunk of time where you need to be active. It's really hard to be healthy just by killing it for an hour a day out of the 24 hours and doing very little the other 23.
Yeah, it needs to be a lifestyle. We definitely want the happy, healthy, strong mentality to be a part of everything that you do. Yeah. And it's funny because anything else, we would just think it's asinine to be like, I'm going to not study or prepare for my meetings for work or do any of, and then I'm going to show up for the work meeting and just deliver. Yeah. Like, no, you would never do that. And we look at fitness and nutrition as this separate category, and we don't approach it the same way we approach other important things in our life. I think it's changing. I think there's definitely a shift happening in culture a little bit, a little more of an undercurrent, but it's being understood more that, like, I have to own this and I have to be intentional about it. And I can't just, to your point, show up willy-nilly at some group training class or work out in the park a few times a week and think I'm going to get these goals if they are good goals and they're a little challenging and something that you have to work towards. Yeah.
So then, so we talk physical stressors, okay? Somebody has a very active job, somebody has a much less active job, and how you have to kind of balance that. There are also these mental, emotional stressors in this world, okay? Somebody has a big project coming up, or a big sales meeting, or, if I'm that contractor, the Smith family wants their bathroom, finished by Friday, and, the countertops still aren't in, and oh my gosh, and and now we have all this work to do because I have to wait for for C to get done with D, and that emotional mental stress can be a big deal. Lauren, how do we balance that stress?
Yeah, I think that the mental emotional is really creeping into my top 5 of low hanging fruit of things to focus on right now. Every single one of my clients, that is top of their priority for July, because it seeps into every area of your life. It seeps into how your gut functions. It seeps into how your thyroid functions, your sex hormones, all these things that make you you and able to be vibrant and energized and show up and deliver and have mental clarity and perform for life.
Yeah.
Just sucks the life out of all of them. And number one, I would say, is just you have to be aware that the stress is there. You can't ignore it. And we so often in society just run from warning signals. When you feel dry mouth, cotton mouth, upset stomach, your body's telling you something is wrong.
Yeah.
You're anxious about something. Maybe you're overtrained. Maybe you're undertrained. You're not doing enough and your body just feels blah. Like any physical feeling or emotional feeling you have is telling you something if you choose to listen to it. And so honestly, that is step one. You just have to know that you feel things and you're a human and you should pay attention to that.
Yeah. And I've seen it go both ways. People get so stressed out where they need a workout to relieve that stress, let the dopamine go, and it's just, I feel so much better. Endorphins go, and I feel so much better. I need that, because they weren't active, because they didn't have that, because they were so focused on whatever was,
Right.
stressing them out. But then also go the other way too, where they get through a workout, and it's the thing that breaks them. Like it was that one more stress, and they just, I don't want to say collapse. But then they end up eating poorly when they go home at night, because they're just they're starving because they haven't been eating well, because this massive project that's been hanging over them, or they're somebody in the family got sick or something like that, and then that stresses, or their wife yelled at them, and their husband yelled at, and they that frustrated their kid is a pain in the butt in class, and teacher's calling you, and it's just one more thing, and again I think it's really hard for people to really look in the mirror and be like, hey, how do I feel right now? And if it's like, wow, I really need a workout to let go, you need that. And if there are sometimes we're going the other way too, where it's like, man, I just need to go for a walk and then go to bed. And that's what I need right now. And so I think it's challenging for people to really know what is what there. Do you have any secrets for that?
Yeah. I think off the bat, just what you just kind of alluded to is in the moment. So step one, be aware. So now, cool, I did that. I'm aware. Now what do I do with that? One is now looking forward. Got to make a plan. If this is something that's happening like every 5 minutes, I like to make the analogy of like you have a stress piggy bank. And so if your piggy bank is empty, you're like, I'm stressed and I have no money. Like I can't spend happy pennies on feeling better because it's empty. It's just, it's like your cup, and there's nothing to run it over, to give to others, to give to yourself. So you got to fill your cup up first. You got to fill your piggy bank. So for every piece of stress you take out of the piggy bank, you got to put 3 pieces of self whatever into the piggy bank. That can be walking. That can be getting sunlight on your skin. That can be grounding, touching the earth. That can be petting an animal. Like there's endorphin release for 10 seconds of hugging, loving an animal, hugging someone, personal touch with someone else. But the deep breathing is huge, and it takes literally 3 seconds. Like even I catastrophize in my mind, like, I don't have time for deep breathing. Like, you don't have time for deep breathing? No wonder you're stressed to the hilt and your anxiety is so high, because you can't even take a single moment to just relax. So you have to fit those things into your week, into your month. And I would say you have minis that you do every day, and then you have big ones that you do maybe twice a month. Like take myself to the beach. I'm not going to do that every day. But one day at the beach, probably going to hold me over for a solid week. So then I could make it another week until maybe I go again. And so it's these like big bouts of reconnecting with yourself, with nature, with releasing, disconnect from technology. As often as you can do that in the morning, not having that be the first thing you look at. So it's hard to, give exact things, because it's just a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle of unplugging. It's a lifestyle of being present and being proactive about the fact that stress will come. And I have to know myself to know how much help I need to be able to fight it when it's there in the moment and I feel like everything's going out of control and I can do nothing about it.
I find when I was a huge distance runner, I love running on trails. And I thought just because it was trails, it was soft, you know, it was easier on my body, blah, blah, blah. But it wasn't. It was the trees. I like trees, you know, and to be out in nature and stuff like that and be with my dogs and be disconnected from, you know, phones and stuff like that. I don't run with my phone. You know, my little Timex watch, and I'm good to roll.
Right.
And I think being out in nature was fantastic. If I'm able to get out to the dog park, you know, 2-3 days a week, I'm pretty good. My dogs are happy. Okay. I'm happy. There's just something to be like, hey, we just walk around and and there are the trees and and it's the same loop that we do over and over and over and over. It's not overly exciting, but there's something about just kind of decompressing, you know, with that. So, but it's funny how if I get busy and then all of a sudden I don't go for 2 weeks,
You feel it.
I feel it.
And then you realize it.
Yes, and the dogs feel it too. You know, so strike one, strike two.
Yeah.
But yeah, whatever you need to kind of, it helps me manage stress at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I don't need it every day. I don't think it's something I need every day, but I do think that it's something like that. Everybody has their own little thing.
Yeah.
I find it big I don't want to say odd, but interesting how big this meditation thing has gotten. And I don't think that it's it's rocket science. It's just, we're so gosh darn busy that now people are instructing people how to breathe.
Yeah.
Why is this even a thing?
Yeah.
I don't know how to breathe. Calm down. You're stressed out. You got 1,000 different plates spinning. Like we had to invent yoga, you know, invent meditation because we're too gosh darn stressed out. I know we didn't invent meditation, people. I get it. But, you know, like that type of, I know people have been doing it for a long time.
Right.
I get it. But I think that's really unique to me, how we have to make this a priority. You have to tell yourself to deep breathe, you know, when, you know, that's funny to me. I don't know where I'm going with that. Do you see where I'm going with that?
No, yeah. And I think, too...
We created this problem.
We did. And
now we're trying to fix this problem that we created.
And that's the thing. With my clients, I want them to start by literally just setting apart 1 minute 3 times a day to just sit. Mm-hmm. Like, in our head, it's just... If I'm going to work out, okay, I have to know the exercises and how to do it. If I'm going to meditate, I got to know the process. No, that's the point of meditation. Yeah. Just take a pause. Yeah. Take a pause. And eventually you can have actual things that you're doing and whatever. Yeah. But it's just
definitely not necessary.
Literally taking a pause.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess, you know, thing number 1 for all of us is you got to have a self-care routine. Mm-hmm. And I rattled off quite a few. Sleep is included in that. Mm-hmm. We're not going to go into that. We've done that many times. Also,
sleep might be the most important one.
Yeah, for sure. But some hidden gems that people don't really know about for just down regulating your sympathetic and activate more para, the calming, cold showers. Mm-hmm. I'd recommend people to start with 15 seconds. You crank it to cold, it's on your back, do some breathing, boom. Done. Get out, go about your night, go to bed, whatever. Gargling is huge. Gargling, it stimulates your vagus nerve. Vagus nerve is going to help calm down the gut and different things. That's why singing and laughter are also really good for self-care. It's the same stimulation. But I'm talking gargling, I'm talking like you want to puke. Like you're gargling so hard that it's almost like a gag reflex. So for whatever reason, when your body goes into that gag reflex, it seems counterintuitive. That would be like fight or flight. Yeah. But for whatever reason, it actually helps calm. Tracing the roof of your mouth with your tongue, like around your teeth, and like painting the roof of your mouth, whatever stimulation that gives your brain, your body can calm you. Self-massage. Think about areas that you can easily massage yourself. Ears are the best. Ears, if you've ever gotten a massage and once they like, you're like, oh, that feels so good. When does your ear ever get massaged? Yeah. But when we're stressed out, what do?
Yeah.
Those are your pressure points. So even just sitting, there's a technique of sitting and tapping through your pressure points, and it feels really good when you push on them. So there is plethora of information out there. Just start looking it up and pick like 1 or 2. Yeah. So self-care is really the first one. Second one, I think you kind of alluded to, is management. Got to have boundaries. Got to set boundaries for you. Got to set boundaries for relationships. You got to set boundaries for your time, for figuring out personal and work and self-care, and like just not piling more, but being more efficient. Maximum effective dose of each of these. What are the 3 best self-care things I can do every day?
Minimum effective dose. Is that what you
did? I say maximum?
You did.
Yeah, thank you.
You want minimum.
I want minimum.
Yes.
I want to do as little as possible for the biggest reward.
Yes.
That one.
There we go. Yeah.
So there's 2. I don't know. Do you have any other ones? Managing stress, mental, emotional?
Well, no. Well, just to go off with, I mean, Kelly Starrett is, you know, huge fan of everything sleep. His thing is, along with the mobility piece, like, hey, let's do this mobility piece. Let's foam roll 15 minutes before bed. Okay.
Right.
Let's take a lacrosse ball and attack that that nasty hip, or the hamstring, and get that massage piece going and just down
body
regulate
releases,
so then you can sleep well, and that thing. So I think when you look at balancing all these stressors between what you do at work, okay, what you do for those 8 hours a day, 9 hours a day, 10 hours a day, whether you're a desk jockey, or extremely active, glad we fixed that. Balancing whatever stress is going on, okay, whether life stresses, personal stresses from work, whatever that is, however you want to balance that up, if you can be reflective, look yourself in the mirror and really understand, hey, now are the time. Hey, I'm feeling really good right now. I'm relaxed. I am good. I'm going to attack the gym. I'm going to get after it. Oh, what is it? Heavy squat day? Yeah, let's do this. I'm ready for it. Or being like, oh my God, I am trashed. But maybe the choice is to go to the gym. That's fine. And that's a day that you back off a little bit. Feel a little bit more mobility stuff. Talk to your coach. Okay, make sure they understand where you are and how you need to back up.
Get an extra hour of sleep, hydrate a little bit more, up your nutrition some, eat some more protein,
walk in the woods, whatever that is. So I think that's a huge piece for people, and I think it's challenging. I know it's challenging, for people to figure out where they are in that, because it's hard for me. Like I tend to be a hard charger, and I get things to do, and I start to do them, and and next thing I know, my day gets away from me, and I'm a little too busy, and and I didn't do this or I didn't do that. And I'm like, oh, I'll go. I don't know. It's easy to screw up, is my point.
I think if we could leave anybody with 2 last keys, for me personally, you can add your own keys if you want.
Key it up.
But it's going to be, if you want to start anywhere, start by just committing to take a pause once a day. Yeah. Up that to 2 times a day, up that to 3 times a day. That pause could be anything for you. But when I say it's a pause, that means there is nothing that you are doing intentionally to get things done. It's not, I'm going to pause and stretch. I'm going to pause and sit on the couch and check my work emails. I'm pausing. No, like you're disengaged. The only thing you're engaged in is you. So I would say walking is okay. No phone, no podcast. Ooh. No, you just nothing. So commit to that. And then 2, what was my second one? I had a really good one. Oh my gosh. Pause. My brain just went blank. I'm really sad. It was really good.
I'm really excited to hear it.
Yeah, if I could think of it.
Can I jump in with it too?
Yes, please do.
So I would find that one, if breathing's your thing, find that one thing. And if that one thing can be a daily thing, I think that's awesome, and commit to it.
Yeah.
Not that you can't, a once a week thing is fine. Once a month thing is fine. Take your dog to the beach, have fun. But if you can find that one daily thing to do, that just
definitely daily.
Yeah, that I think is fantastic. If it's a 10-minute walk with the dog, it's a 10-minute walk with the dog. You have to do it. Okay, no choices. Okay.
Yeah.
Or Oki's gonna be upset. Okay. Bear's gonna be upset.
Right.
Okay. Take him for the walk and do it every day. And something came up. No, he's your dog. Gosh darn it. Take him for a walk. And if you don't have a dog, you go for a walk. Hey, it's your time after dinner. 20-minute walk, and if it's stretching out, or foam rolling before you go to bed, commit to it, and it doesn't have nothing to affect that.
No, I like that.
Hey, I have a work call. My boss called me at 8:00 at night. You don't answer it because that's your time to, take care of your thing, or whatever it is. But like prioritize that one thing a day.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. I think that's great. So take your pause and then have your one thing that's selfishly for you, essentially.
Yes.
And selfishly for you could be, I want to do adult coloring books, or I want to just sit and, hey, it's helpful.
My wife has done that.
See, there's so many options. So
actually, check that. She does the kids color.
Even better.
Quinn will be coloring. She'll color too.
Yeah. So
good job, Heather.
Oh my gosh, you're so mean. Don't listen to him. Anyone listening, these are good things. Adam is just judgmental.
She's a really good drawer.
Oh my gosh. Wrapping it up here. So overall,
we should edit this part of the podcast.
We probably will just chop it out to Lauren losing her train of thought, to Adam coming in for the win. He just quick little, what's that called in baseball when your partner helps you out? RBI? No. What's the thing? Help me.
I don't know what you're saying.
If I hit the ball and I get out, but you make it home.
Sacrifice.
Well, yeah, but that has a name in baseball. Is it an RBI?
You do get an RBI.
Okay,
yes,
great.
Yes.
I'm not that. I know sports.
Oh, gosh, we sound really dumb right now.
Yeah, we do.
Sports people.
So, whole purpose here is you need to kind of take an evaluation of what your daily stressors are, physically, mentally, emotionally. when you look at those daily stressors, that's going to affect how you're able to train
Yep.
and also how you look at your day-to-day, where you may need to fit more stuff into your day-to-day, depending on what your goals are.
Yeah.
And 2, stress is not just physical, it's also the mental, emotional side. So to tackle that, you got to start by just being still, because then you're going to be aware of when you're stressed and why you're stressed. But 2, pick something, one thing, commit to it daily, and make it personal to you and almost a little selfish that this is my thing. And I would highly recommend blocking it in your calendar. Otherwise, it's, this is my thing. I'll find time for it. That is the worst way to start a habit. So, you gotta protect that time and just act on it.
Yeah. And the other side too, if fitness is your thing, if you really want to drive your fitness, like you love being active, Spartan races, running, whatever it might be, whatever, Olympic weightlifting, et cetera, et cetera. Just you have to prioritize that stuff even more. Okay, you have to get more sleep. You have to eat better. Okay, you have to minimize those stressors. So when you hit the gym, you can hit the gym. You don't have those days, because sometimes I don't want this podcast to be like an excuse for everybody to slack off. That's not what this is.
Right.
Oh, I don't feel good today. I don't feel good today. You don't feel good ever. Okay. Well, take care of yourself.
Why?
Okay?
Yeah.
Fix it. So when you get in the gym, you can deliver. Okay.
Yep.
I've known people that can really pull this off well. They'll pull doubles, or but if they're getting the sleep and they're recovering the way they should and they're eating really good food, they can do it. You can do it. Gosh darn it! Like we don't have to treat you. Oh, you're a little porcelain doll. Like you can hit it. But if you're not checking the boxes of stress and sleep and all those other things, again, it's just stress is stress. Okay. This much life stress, this much work stress, this much physical stress of lifting and running, this much stress. Like you can only handle this much. Okay, you can handle more of the physical stress if your
capacity is higher.
Yes, mental stress is here. Your emotional stress is here. Now, you have so much work where you can stress the body working out. So like like hard chargers. If you want to go out and get after it, I love that. That's fantastic. But you just have to handle the rest of your stress.
Yeah, I love that. That's a great recap to end on, because it's kind of it's hitting every type.
Yeah.
So no matter where you're at and what your journey might be, all of these principles are good. It's just figuring out how they fit into your life and making that a plan and doing it.
Yeah. Nailed it.
All right, over and out, guys.
Yes, stressors.
Catch you next time.
Thanks for listening and or watching on the
excited.
YouTube.
The most excited.
So excited.
Peace.